And hello, I am Wakasm, and today I am playing Pandemic the Cure. So setup took a little bit longer because I was missing a bag of dice, and also because I have not played this game in quite a while. How is everybody doing out there today? So yeah, it's been a long time since I've played this, probably a couple years. I don't know, I just kind of decided recently that I wanted to play some older games, mix in with some of the new hotness stuff. Yeah, so I totally expect to lose today because I am playing with the modules from the expansion. I forget what the name of the expansion is. It's The Cure, and I think it's Experimental Meds is the name of the expansion. Experimental Meds. Again, it's been a while since I've played, so I will do my best to teach as I go and play, and hopefully I don't make any rules mistakes. And again, I am trying to get to 300 subs by the end of the year. It's already almost the end of October, and I am nowhere near close. So if you've made it this far into the video, which a lot of people haven't because, I don't know, YouTube does not send a lot of people my way. But if you have, please give me a subscribe, a like, comment, follow. Mostly a subscribe. It would really, really help. I'm probably not going to hit my goal, but I'm still going to try my hardest. I'm probably going to be playing more games more frequently, and I am going to work on reviews, which I've said on past videos. That's what I'm going to start doing. But yeah, I got to play some games before I can review some games. So, all right. So the point of Pandemic the Cure is to cure all diseases. Since I am playing with both the Mutation Challenge, which is this purple disease, and the Hot Zones Challenge, which is these green dice that are kind of on this track here and kind of all over the board. This will be a little bit probably harder, a little bit more random. And again, since I haven't played in a long time, I totally expect to lose. So I'm only playing on standard. I probably should have played on intro for this first game, but I don't know. I'm just going to try on standard and see how it goes. So this might be a quick game. I might lose fast. I might play a second one. I'm not really sure yet. So everything I've set up, the way the game works is you pull out 12 dice, you roll them all until you get values, and these kind of represent the different diseases. Like normal Pandemic, anytime you have more than 3 of the same color in an area, you do get a pandemic or an outbreak. And for setup, it's impossible to outbreak. If you happen to outbreak, you just kind of re-roll the dice. But obviously you can see this area right here. If I roll one more red, then probably should do it like this. Just realized I forgot all these spaces have a little cheat sheet for the types of colors that will appear. But yeah, if I roll one more red, then that will outbreak, and it kind of outbreaks in a clockwise manner. And if I get 7 outbreaks, I lose the game. I lose the game if I run out of cubes from this bag. There's more ways I can lose cubes with the 2 modules I'm playing, so I'll talk about that when that comes up. And then what's the third way that I can lose? There's a third way I can lose. Yeah, it's been a while. Oh yeah, and then if the infection rate reaches the end of the track, there's this concept of an infection rate that goes around here if it ever gets that little skull and crossbones. So 3 ways to lose, 1 way to win. Only way to win is to cure all 5 diseases. Playing as 2 characters, I chose randomly. I did forget, this is one very small detail that I totally forgot about, that the original game kind of has better cards. This is an expansion character on my left hand. This is an original class. Or here, let's do it like this. So they have these like little I don't know, badge kind of things, which are kind of neat. You can kind of feel that the quality of the card is a little bit nicer. I kind of forgot that that was a thing. But yeah, these cards don't have that, so it's not a big deal, but just something small, very nitpicky that if I review the game, I will probably mention. I couldn't quite find the right pawn color. This is kind of like a brown orange, so we're just going to go with that. I think it's the right one. It could have been... Where's the other one? I'm not really sure where the other one... Could have been... It's not the yellow one. I probably should put all the pawns up here and match them that way. Pretty sure these are the right color pawns, but that's what I'm going for. I don't know why I naturally chose 2 colors that are so similar. That could be confusing, but it is what it is. I did it randomly. These are the events that I drew. These happen to all be events that are from the expansion, so we'll talk about those in a second. And other than that, we'll just get started. I'll kind of show you how the game works and how well things go. And like I said, I will probably lose. Plus, I have to reacquaint myself to the expansion stuff as well. So basically, I choose a character to go first. I am going to choose this character. And I need something to track. I will track turn order with this dice, this gray dice right here. So this way I don't forget. So the gray dice is going to be which player is currently going. So I have the epidemiologist. There we go. I can take samples from any other players in your region at any time with permission. So normally you can only get samples from people. You can only get samples from other characters like during the second step, like after you roll all your dice. So she can kind of grab samples to try to cure faster. And then she also gets like a special symbol. Do it like this. These basically are how you collect samples. And you can collect as many samples as you can hold, although whenever you collect a sample, it kind of locks your dice. But basically means she can collect more stuff with less dice. So she's really good at curing. And then we have the medic curing the diseases, like, you know, finding the cure for the diseases, not just removing stuff off the board. Then we have the medic, who's really good at treating diseases. They get a bonus to treat 2 or 3 times, which typically all the other characters can only treat once. They have these like special sides, which lets you remove a lot of dice. Both characters start in 1, which is pretty good for us because this is like our most dangerous area right now. That's about the outbreak. One thing of note, you know, even though these are dice, they don't all have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the different colors have just specific numbers on them. Like it can really only go to 1, 6s, and 4s, and the probability of where they will go is kind of shown on all these places. So you'll never see a red on these unless it like outbreaks. So this outbreaking into here is worse than this outbreaking into here, and any place with colors like that, that's just kind of how it works. And then the only other thing is you decide who goes first randomly. So I'm just going to roll both of these, and the first one to roll a biohazard, because every dice has a biohazard, will go first. Probably could do this in a better manner, but all right. So the cannot pronounce this word. Epidemiologist is going to go first. I wanted the medic to go first because the medic then could potentially clean all that up with less dice, but it is what it is. Anyway, so we're gonna get started. So what you do on your turn is character that's going, or if you're playing with multiple people, obviously each person will be controlling a character. You roll all their dice. You start the turn with that. So biohazards are always bad. You kind of deal with them first. And anytime you roll a biohazard, you basically lock up the dice and you advance this infection one. And every time this advances to one of these spots, like where it crosses over into a new area, we are going to, well, it's not always a new, oh yeah, I guess it is always a new area. We will be doing an infection step. I forget what it's actually called. It's not infection, it's called an epidemic. Yeah, it's called the epidemic track, so yeah. So that's the first thing that we do. And that's one way that we're going to add dice to the board. Epidemics are a little bit worse than what happens at the end of the turn, which is the infect region step. But those are the 2 ways more dice are going to come onto the board. There's other ways too, like with these green dice, which we'll cover when it happens. But yeah, so these are the 4 actions that I have. Let's kind of zoom up a little bit, and I guess we'll do it like this. We'll put these in the middle. So basically right now I could try to cure 4 dice. The problem is, in order to cure dice, we have to treat dice from these locations and get them into the middle of the circle, which again, been a while. I just forget the terminology. I think it's called the treatment center. So this circle kind of represents the treatment center. So if I was to treat something, like let's say I was here, I could treat it, put it in the middle. Then you could try to collect samples in order to try to get a cure, and you use these little jars to put the samples in. But since we have no dice there, we can't really do anything with that right now. With ships let you just move to adjacent locations, and planes let you go to any location. And then any of these syringes let you treat a dice. So since this boat / syringe is, I could do either or, I'm going to immediately use this dice to just treat one of these dice. So yeah, so I have 3 more dice that I can use. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where the best way to zoom is. Okay. I could move now if I wanted to. I could I could collect this one red dice as a sample. The problem with that is when you do that, you kind of lock up the dice. Or I can re-roll any number of these dice. I can re-roll all 3. I can re-roll 1. So I think all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to re-roll 1, and I'm hoping not to get a biohazard. And of course, I said I'm hoping not to get a biohazard, so I got a biohazard, and we are going to simply re-roll the ship then, I think, is what we're going to do. And we got another. So this is already not going well. I think we're going to cut our losses there. The hope was we were going to be able to create 1 more dice, collect 2 samples. It didn't work out, so basically all we did was just advance the track a whole lot, which is not good for us. So that's it. That's the end of the epidemiologist's turn. So now we could give samples to each other if we're in the same location, but we don't have any samples. We could try to find a cure. I'll go over how that works if I even survive that long. And then last but not least, I infect the regions. So the way infection works is basically where this peg is on this track. I'm going to roll 3 dice. It's a little hard to see because the angle of the camera is covering it, but there's 3 dice here that I'm going to roll. Basically, I'm going to pull from this bag 3 dice. So I drew these 3 dice. So the good news is I cannot outbreak this turn, so we'll just roll them and see where they go. So plus signs are good for us. Plus signs, basically, they go to the CDC. And this is how you basically can use your events, which I'll talk about in a second. But first, let me put these dice out. We put 1 yellow dice in the 2 spot. We put another yellow dice in the 5 spot. So you'll notice that all the event cards have like a cost associated with them. Sometimes it's 2 pluses, sometimes it's 3 pluses. But basically, for the most part, anytime on the turn, I think there's like a couple restrictions, like in between your dice rolls, can't be during an infection step when you can actually use them. I might have to double check specifically the timing on events if it ever comes up, but for the most part, you can use it anytime on your turn. I could spend this dice, put it back here. Actually, when I use it, it goes back into the bag. It doesn't go back into the treatment center, but I could use it. And right now, the 2 events that I have access to with 1 is relocation orders. I can move up to 2 dice, hot zone or infection, from the same region to a single different region, or short-term planning, set 1 player die to any result. This cannot affect biohazard results, but can be done before rolling dice. If there's something I really want on these dice, use the short-term planning. So we're just gonna roll for the medic now. Zoom up here so we can see. All right, so we can treat a ton of stuff. We did get 1 biohazard, not great. So we are going to move into the next step. So we're going to be doing our first epidemic. So the way the epidemic works is, this is why it's a little bit worse than, I guess I didn't center that properly. The reason why this is a little bit worse than a normal infection step is now I have to draw 3 heroic dice. In addition to 3 heroic dice, I have to take all the dice that are in the treatment center, and basically they get put back out. So we're already going to have 1 red dice plus whatever 3 dice I draw from here. And then we're also going to be adding 1 of these dice into one of the locations, which I just have to remember how that works. All right, so the first thing is I'm going to roll these 3 dice. We got another CDC dice. Some of my dice are already losing their symbols, which is kind of sad. It's always sad to see with custom dice. But we have a blue 1 and we have a black. Then we're going to roll this dice, and this dice is going to basically go into the spot where the current player is at, which is this player. We're both at 1, but that's where it's going to go. All right, so basically this symbol, I'll start explaining these now. Whenever we move into this region, it costs an additional ship or a plane to get into it. So anything that's yellow, for the most part, is bad. Everything that's white is good in theory. So yeah, that's going to go here. So if we want to move back into this spot, it's going to cost us more movement. And that's what that does. So this is locked up. And I think we are simply going to, I guess we'll just treat 3 dice. Do I want to treat all the dice, or we want to leave that blue dice there? We will treat all 3 dice. I feel like this is probably a mistake. I think we want to leave the blue dice. So we're going to treat 2 and put 3 red dice in. So that's going to be done. And then we're going to sample 1 dice. So we have 1 sample on our card right now. And then we are going to use this plane to move somewhere, and I guess we will move where we needed the most right now. We're not really at risk of anything yet. So I suppose I kind of want to get this red dice. This way the why can't I say this word? The epidemiologist, there we go, can maybe take one extra dice and then maybe even try to attempt a cure. But maybe we'll just play it safe for now and we will go here and treat 3 dice. Problem is we'll have to re-roll all this if we get to the next spot. But anyway, that's all the actions for the medic, and that's it for the turn. I could give samples if I was in the same spot, which I just realized I just left the spot, which is probably not great, but I guess we'll deal with that when the time comes. And then I'm not going to try to find a cure with 1 dice, and I guess we'll just infect the region. So we're going to plot 3 more dice. And yeah, so we get 2 yellows and a red. This is going to go into the 4 space, 5 space, and the 2. Not too bad. All right. So now it is the epidemiologist's turn. I'm going to say that wrong every single time. So let's roll. All right. So we do get. Whoops. I think I knocked this dice over. I think it was here, and I put it back. But these dice are kind of light. I feel like they're very easy to accidentally like. Anyway, we did get 1 biohazard, which is not great for us. So we are going to move this. I guess I'll do it like this. Spin it a little bit. Down 1. This way it's easier to see when I'm zoomed up what's going on. Kind of wish that they made this like a different color thing, but I guess in person it's not as bad, but on camera it doesn't look great. We are going to lock up 2 samples with 1 dice. And I guess we will use this ship to just simply move to where this red dice is at. And we're not going to do anything with these last 2 dice. I don't want to get any more bio. What's my chances? 2 chances of treating. No, we'll do nothing. We'll wait. We'll play it patiently. So that's it. We are not going to try to find a cure for red yet. Instead, we are going to just infect with 3 more dice. And 2 and the 2. So we are at risk up here. We are at risk at the 2 spot of having a outbreak there. Oh wait, okay. If 1+ infection dice are added here, change to evacuation. All right. I did forget how this works. I don't know if I added any dice here recently, but this one's always bad. When you add a dice, you basically immediately grab 2 more dice and add them, and then you change this to a good side. So I probably should have done that 1 more turn ago, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. But that's what that symbol is. We drew 2 purple dice. Purple dice are a little bit weird. We'll talk about those if they roll any weird sides. They did not, but they did roll 2 2s. A lot of cubes up in the 2 zone, so we might have to deal with that. Now we are going to take the turn of the medic. Alright, well the medic can currently fly around the world. That's not too bad. We're going to hold on to 2 of these. So we're going to simply do the following. We are going to use one plane to go into where the epidemiologist is. And we're going to take this sample. That's what their special power does. We can do it at any time with permission. And then we are simply going to use a second plane to get over to this scary area. And we're going to try roll 1 dice at a time and see if we can get and keep rolling as much as we want. Okay, we got 1 treatment, and I guess we will risk it. Actually, we won't risk it. Probably a sample. I think we're going to gamble with this hot dice. What we're going to do is we're just going to try to spread a yellow to an area that yellow doesn't go. So the way this works is I can just take, this is an evacuation, I can just take 1 of these dice and I can move it to an adjacent zone. I think for now we will put it here. And then I basically then re-roll this and put the dice back. So now I have a 50-50 shot of putting something good down or something bad. And we put something bad. So this is going to add more infection dice if we end up putting dice there again. So that was the risk. It is what it is. We're not going to take any more dice actions for now. And it is going to be the epidemiologist's turn. Epidemiologist. Am I saying that right? But first we have to infect. Draw 3 more dice. Okay, so first we do, forget which one we do first. If we put these out first or if we do this. So we do this. So the way this works is basically we draw an infection dice from the bag and we remove it from the game every time that -1 comes up. So we're removing a blue dice. So we're going to put all the removed dice, we'll put them up here for now. And we'll put them on the plus side so you can kind of see what's happening. So that means that this bag now is 1 dice less. And again, one of the ways we can lose is if we ever can't draw dice out of this bag. So these could be an issue. Plus, I have to re-roll this now. So there's a chance I just could roll -1 8 times and get really bad luck. But that's not what's happening this time. So we got a 2, a 4, and a 3. Okay, so we have a couple places now where we have to worry about things. Potential outbreak here, potential outbreak there. All right, so now they're gonna go. Okay, so we did get 1 biohazard, not great. And then we're just gonna simply collect the sample. Sorry, we're gonna treat first and then collect the sample. And then for my last action, we will move. All right, so that's all the actions that they're going to take. We are going to try to find a cure now for the first time, so I'll explain how that works. Basically, whenever you try to find a cure, you're trying to get a value of, we'll do it over here. You're trying to get a value of, and if you fail, basically nothing happens. You just have to keep the samples and try again on another turn, or pass them around to someone else if what needs to happen. But yeah, so basically we're going to roll all these and we're hoping to get 13. There's a lot of 6s here, so maybe we'll get lucky. 12, 13. I forget if you need more than 13 or 13. I think it's 13 exactly, but we're going to look that up. Again, it's been a while. Total is 13 or more. Then we found the cure. So we're going to mark this cure. So we're going to take one of these dice and we're going to put it on this red spot right here. We're going to put the remaining infection dice, the other samples you roll, plus any held samples by other players, plus any dice of this in the treatment center, back in the infection bag. So red is now cured. So we are 1/5 of the way there, which now means when we treat red dice for 1 treat action, all of the dice that are red of that color can basically get removed. So it's a lot more efficient to do it. So yeah, so basically we put the red here. We got rid of all the red dice that we had in our samples, which means everyone's going to get their dice back that was holding samples, which is good. She's out of actions. I could do one of these events, so we might want to consider doing it now, considering we have 2 places that can outbreak. Trying to figure out what the best way to do that is. I could reduce the infection rates by 1, which might be the way to go. This way I only have to roll 2 dice. Kind of lowers the chances a little bit. Or I could just move 2 dice out and I can either get rid of these black dice or the purple dice. I think we'll do that. We'll just spend 1 of these dice and this goes back into the bag. And we'll do 1 relocation orders, which is, again, move up to 2 dice from the same region to a single different region. And that is, we'll do it with the black. We'll do it with the black dice. We'll put the black dice. And we're going to draw 2 dice now. And now we have an airlift, which is move any pawn to any region. All right, so we have 1 purple dice that can basically cause an outbreak right now. So we're going to hope not to do that. We don't want a 2 to not jinx us this time. So we get a 6 in the red spot, blue in the 1 spot. All right, so now it is the medic. Okay, we can collect a bunch of samples, we can cure a bunch of stuff, and we can move. I think we're definitely going to treat a bunch of stuff first. So we will treat, and then I think we're going to start working on, and I think we are going to use this airplane to jump over to the 6 spot, and we'll use another double treat to put 2 more blacks in the middle. And then we'll use both of our samples to collect 1 dice. Since it does not hurt, I mean, I guess it's impossible, but we could try to cure for free but it's not possible because the values are 5s, 3s, and 4s. So even if I roll 2 5s, I'd only get 10. So I definitely need more dice to be able to. That is it. So we're going to infect. So now that we're familiar with the game and we're kind of moving, the game's going to move a lot faster. Plus, I don't have to explain as much. We're going to draw 3. We're going to infect. Did I put anything here? No, I don't think. I have to remember when I put something here, they explode. All right. So we have a 6 and a 5. So we are at risk of an outbreak here. So we might have to deal with that this turn. But it is now the epidemiologist's turn. So, all right. So 1 biohazard. So we are 1 away from hitting the next epidemic. So we do want to move fast if we can, which is what we're going to do. So I think we're just going to use everything that we have currently. We're going to use 1 treat to get rid of just 1 yellow dice so that, we don't risk outbreaking. And then we're going to use our ship to move. And we're going to move over to where the medic is. And then we're going to use 1 dice to grab 2 black samples. And then we're going to use their ability. You may take samples from any other player in your region at any time with permission. So we're going to take both of these samples. So now they have 4 dice to attempt to cure. And with this last dice, we're not going to do anything right now. We're just going to kind of hang tight because we do not want to risk a biohazard. So what we are going to try doing now is we're going to try curing. We got 4 dice. We're hoping for 13 or better. So that is definitely 13 or better. So we have now the black disease. So we're 2/5 of the way there. All these black dice are going to go back in the bag, and everyone gets their sample dice back. And now we are going to infect with 3 more dice. Okay, we got 2 purples and a black. Don't think we can outbreak with this combo, so that's good. But we do get rid of another dice, so we're going to remove something out from the bag. And we remove another blue dice. Getting less and less blue dice. I don't remember what the totals are of each color, but potentially you could get rid of all the color and make it impossible to find a cure, so something to consider. We're losing another dice, so this is where the game gets unlucky for us. The yellow is going away. Roll again, and it's a 2. So we got a 2. We do have an outbreak potentially happening here. All right, so now it's the medic's turn. They're going to roll all 5 of their dice. Now, if they roll a biohazard, we're going to be doing an epidemic, and all 4 more are going to get rolled, and we're really close to an outbreak. So, all right, so we're going to do this just to help our chances a little bit. We're going to use the short-term, probably a bad idea. If I don't roll a plane, I was going to use this to just kind of lock in a dice to avoid a biohazard. I don't know. We're just going to have to risk it. Hoping for no biohazard. And no biohazard, so that is good. And we did not get a plane, so we are going to use this airlift right now to move forward to this messy area that we got a lot of bad things going on. And we're going to do a lot of treating. And we didn't talk about it as well, but this dice right here, had an outbreak occurred, we'd be adding 4 more dice in additional to all the dice that we add from other things. So this is a bad one. We don't want that. Luckily, this lets you re-roll a biohazard. So this is a really good one to have if you're in a risky spot. This little house thing, it's an isolation ward. So yeah, we are going to use this 3 treat that the medic has, and we're going to get rid of a bunch of dice. We're going to get rid of, you know what, we're going to get rid of, and then we are going to use this 2 that we have here, and we're going to get rid of both reds. And something we haven't done yet, you can treat from the location you're at, or you can actually remove dice from the middle back to the bag. Again, kind of important for the idea of not running out of dice, but also to dilute the pool a little bit. So for instance, since I have 2 that I can use, I could simply take both of these red dice, put them in the middle for 1 treat, and then for another treat, I can put them back into the bag. And I can do all that with 1 treat because red is cured. I think we'll leave the black Actually, you know what? Since we're here, no, because we're at risk. We're still at risk. We kind of did forget that we were one biohazard away from shuffling all this, redistributing it. So this might be a mistake. I might have hurt myself. I kind of was thinking, all right, we can get to the next turn. The oh my god, epidemiologist could collect them all and then try to find a cure. But there is a chance that she rolls a biohazard and then all these dice go away and then they all get redistributed in ways that we don't like. So there is that. So I think what I will do to minimize things a little bit is I'm going to use the 2 treatments that I have. I have 3 treatments here. I'm going to take away 1 purple dice and 2 yellow dice and put them back in the bag. And then I'm going to use 1 sample to collect a purple. And we'll worry about getting that to them. This way, if we roll bad, it's not the end of the world. That's the end of their turn. They're not going to try to find a cure. So we're going to roll 3 dice now. We're still at 3 dice because we haven't hit the next epidemic infection rate. We do get a CDC blue. We do not put another 4 out and another 3. So we do have 3 blacks here we have to worry about. All right, so now we see if we roll a biohazard. If we don't roll a biohazard, I think we're in good shape. If we do roll a biohazard, then things are bad. So maybe now is when I do this for this. I'm going to set 1 player die to any result. And I'm just going to simply reset it, set 1 to a double sample. This will eliminate, 20% of the chance, one dice from rolling a biohazard, but we still have 4 dice that can potentially do it. So let's see what happens. And there's our biohazard. This goes back in the bag. We get a new event. So we do get our biohazard. So unfortunate for us. All right. So we are going to first lock this dice. We're going to take these 4 dice plus another 4 dice. And we're going to roll all of them. And we're going to see what happens first. So first we get a 2x. And basically makes us, we'll do this in order. This makes us draw another dice and add it to the pool. Now we have 7 dice. And this makes me grab another dice and remove it from the game. Bag's starting to get a lot lighter. So we're getting rid of a red dice. And then we re-roll these 2 purples again. And it looks like we're going to have an outbreak this. I think we're supposed to be doing this in order. So I think we're going to have a couple outbreaks. First, we're going to have an outbreak right here. All right, so this happens, and when we put a dice into this spot, we're gonna grab 2 more and roll those, and that goes there, and that goes there. All right, so this is gonna get moved to here, and that's all that happens. We have no black dice. Sorry, we forgot that we're supposed to do it the 1s first. No outbreak, nothing weird happens. Then the 2s, then the 3s, then the 4s, then the 5s, and the 5s are gonna outbreak. This is going to move to there, and the 6 is going to go, I don't know why. So we had another outbreak. So not the end of the world, but now we have nothing in the treatment center. So we're going to have to try to figure that out. So we might have to start working on blue, probably what we're going to do. So I think we are going to the 1 spot. We're going to treat, oh wait, nope, we're not going to do that because that is hard. Oh, we have 1 purple dice here though. All right, well, we'll do it this way. We'll move here. We'll work on yellow instead. This is also another outbreak potential place. So we're going to use these 2 treats, and then we're going to collect these 2 yellow samples. It probably would be smarter if I grab the purples and not worry about the outbreak. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to worry about the outbreak. I'm going to grab the 2 purple. I'm going to put the 2 purples in, and we're going to hope the medic can do some stuff on their turn. All right, so I'm going to try to cure just to see what happens. 5 times 2 is a 10. Not enough, but because there's like a multiplication and a minus thing going on, there's some weird stuff that can happen. You can potentially cure a little bit earlier with these. Not enough. All right, so now we are going to infect with 4 dice. 2 go to the CDC. That's pretty good for us. A yellow 2. And a red 4. That is not the worst results for us. All right, so the medic's gonna go. Now we have this event, rapid vaccine deployment. Play immediately after finding a cure. Move all dice of the cured color from every region into the treatment center. So if we can cure purple, we can get all the purples if we want to do that. 4 rolling dice drawn in the infect region step. Set up to 2 of those dice to any result except pluses. Okay, that could be pretty good too. Yeah, we're gonna hold on to forecast. We're gonna use forecast when we have to draw more. The medic's gonna go, and they have 1 biohazard. So we're going 1. Oh, we forgot to put this dice out too. This was supposed to go here. This spot did not outbreak, so we're good. Had it been here, that would have been bad. All right. Okay, so we have a lot of things that we can treat, but what we really want is the ability to move. So we are going to first re-roll one of these dice to see if we can get a plane. Both a plane and a boat are good. Not what we wanted. Okay, so we're going to use this dice right now to prevent this biohazard. Basically, I can spend a re-roll biohazard result before it takes. That's what we're going to do. Roll again. Okay, we are not. We just want to be able to move. That's all we want to be able to do. They have a plane and a ship. 2 sides that let us move. Okay, we got a second biohazard, so not good. So we're gonna go again. We gotta roll this first. This goes here. That's also not good for us. All right, we're gonna re-roll this now. We need to be able to move. Okay, we got a ship, which is good. So we are going to kind of wanted to get these purple dice. All right, we're gonna stop the risk. We're gonna put 2 purple dice, and then we will move here. You may take samples from any other player, so they can only take. So we'll take this sample just so she has it, and that is it for the actions for the medic. We are going to draw 4 dice, look at them, and see if we draw any yellows. If we draw any yellows, we might use the forecast. 1, 2, 3. All right, we have 1 yellow. Do we want to risk outbreak? We'll risk an outbreak. We can handle 1 more. Actually, if this region outbreaks, yeah, okay. So we will risk an outbreak. We won't use forecast. And it does not outbreak. All right, so first things first. We need to get another dice and roll it. And we re-roll this. And then we go to lose a dice. We're losing a yellow. And then we're going to add another one. So this is where the bad luck comes in. We got a black dice now. I'm not even sure if anything's going to outbreak yet. Then we add another dice. We're going to lose a dice. Wait, we just lose it. And then we're going to re-roll both of these now. And so we're done with that. So let's add all these dice. So we are going to have an outbreak here. This is a good outbreak. It's going to be a double outbreak. All right. And then we have to get 2 more dice where things go bad. So this could be the end. I don't know. Maybe I should have used forecast. 2 4s. Okay. Then this is going to outbreak again. Wait, did we do anything? Yeah, this turns into... I might not have changed that to an evacuation before, so I might have made this a little bit harder. I kind of forgot that that changes every time it happens too. So it doesn't happen again, but we do outbreak again. So that puts us at 5. So we are 2 outbreaks away from losing. Then we have a bunch of 4s, a couple 5s. All right, so that's everything. So epidemiologist is going to go, and we're going to hope that she can do some stuff. All right, she can collect a lot of samples, and she can treat some stuff. So she is going to collect 2 purple samples, and treat twice, 2 yellows, and then collect 2 yellows. All of her dice right now are locked up in samples. So basically, I guess we'll do it like this. Maybe it's easier to see. 1 purple dice, 2 purple dice. So if she ends up failing on any of these cures, then basically all of her dice are locked. Well, actually not all of them. She's got two available. But she's going to try to cure now. And that is a horrible roll. -2. 2 minus 3 is 1. That is not a good roll. Do I have anything I can do? No. 4 rolling dice in the effect regions. Nope. Play me after finding a cure. So we did not find a cure. So that is it for her turn. We are going to draw 4. And I believe we get really unlucky here. we are going to lose because there's only a couple of dice left in here. So if we have to pull out more dice, I think I'm probably going to use forecast now, get a dice back into the bag, and I'm going to set these black dice to 1, 4, and 1, 5. And then we're going to roll this, and we're just hoping not to roll a 1. Actually, no. We're going to set this blue dice to a 3. Both are pretty bad. 50% chance here or a double outbreak. If I roll a 1, it's a double outbreak and I lose. So I have to do it this way. Forecast is gone. Let's see what other event we have. Turn 1, die to the infection bag instead of rolling it. Or rolling for an epidemic or the infect regions. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do that right now. That kind of saves us. We're going to return this black dice to the bag. So we're only rolling this red dice. So we got 1 red. This is going to go into 3. This is going to go. All right, maybe this medic pull off. They need some planes. Okay, so we have a plane, we have a boat, and we have 2 treats. What can we do with that? We need to get up here, and then get over there, and then get over there. Can't do it all. We have a lot of purple dice out, so I feel like I'm not going to draw any purple dice. So I think we're going to try to cure. We are going to use this plane, and we're going to use this to put all the red dice. 1 blue dice, and then put the 3 red dice back in the bag. Then I needed to spend an extra ship to do that because of this. So yeah, we'll do that. So I guess we are simply going to, yeah, I guess we'll just double treat. Still at risk for this, but that's all we can do. That's what we got. So yeah, so I think we infect now. We have 4 dice now. Now the problem is there's a lot of red dice in there. And if I roll a 4, we're going to outbreak, but we don't lose. No, I think we lose if I draw 4. So if I roll a 4, whoops, because of this. So I think this is it. Probably the end of the game. Probably made some mistakes. Definitely got unlucky with this. Would have added a lot more dice back into the bag, but I don't know. Maybe we don't roll any 4s or 3s. All right, well. Roll 2 1s, that's pretty good. Do roll 3, so this is good outbreak. Nope, we're gonna get a double outbreak. This is a good outbreak into here, and this is a good outbreak into here. And wait, is it actually it's 8 outbreak. We lose if it goes into either here. So we have 1 more outbreak that we can survive. So we're good. We're not dead yet. So she only has 2 free dice available. So she's gonna roll. Gets a biohazard, which is unfortunate, but luckily doesn't kill us yet. And how many dice are in this bag? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess we will just black dice in the middle. No, purple dice in the middle. Now we're going to try to find a cure again and see if we can get some of these dice back. Maybe we can at least get the 3 cures before losing. -1 is 9 times 2 times 2, which is a lot. So we cure purple. All these purples are going to go back in the bag. All these samples are freed, but not these 2 yellows. So we have to cure yellow and blue still, and we have to not lose. So right now we are just kind of at the mercy of whatever we draw. There's a few places where outbreaks can happen. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we drew a lot of dice that can make outbreaks happen. 2 on the purple, or 3, or a 4 on the black dice. So I think this is it. Definitely going to be it. And actually, I forgot to do this and this, so the game actually is already over. When I added dice here, I should have pulled out 2 more dice, and then I should have pulled out 4 more dice because of the outbreak. So the game's actually already over, but it's going to be over again because this is going to double outbreak. That is it. So that is a loss. That is a defeat for the cure using both expansions. Like I said, I expected to lose, but I did a little bit better than I thought I was going to. I might have pressed my luck in the wrong places, trying to just cure too fast. I think maybe treating things a little bit more might have been the approach. But yeah, that is The Cure. Classic game. We'll probably play it a few more times. I'll start tracking which roles I actually win with, and then I think I'll just play on standard until I hit a roll that is 1, and then I'll bump it to heroic. I think that's probably the play. That is Pandemic The Cure with the experimental meds expansion. Again, if you watched this to the end, please give me a like, subscribe. My channel can use the interaction because, like I said, I'm a small subscriber. And yeah, other than that, have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.